In this video we will be taking a look at the Rhinestone starter kit. With this you are able to create rhinestone designs that you can then fix onto clothing, accessories or even cardstock. Now within the box you get a second box, that's this one here that I'm showing you now, and within that box are all of the elements that you need. We've got this little spreader brush, and more on that later. We've got a pickup tool and a range of crystals. These are hot fix crystals. Then there are the instructions, as you would expect. They help you identify all of the elements that are included in the kit. It also has some precautions and warnings, and then also pictorial instructions as well as written instructions. And then in the last pack in the kit you get the activation card, which you will use on Canvas Workspace to unlock some bonus designs, plus the bespoke rhinestone pattern creator. There is also the transfer sheet, and then 2 additional sheets as well, which form your template and your base plate. I will explain these as we go, as I think it will make more sense. So let's make a start by moving over to canvasworkspace.brother.com, logging into the account, and then going to the account page. So where your username is, click on that. You'll then click on where it says Premium Function Activation. I can see that I haven't yet registered the Rhinestone kit, so I need to enter the activation code that I find on the activation card here, then press activate, double check that it's being registered to my account, and then again click activate. I then receive a confirmation message and can proceed onto Canvas Workspace and start a new project. When I now access a new project, I will have a new folder in the Pattern Browser library. It will be called Rhinestone. As you can see here, you have a range of letters which are already pre-designed for you, as well as a range of patterns. For the example that I will use in this video, I will use one of the butterfly designs. I either click on it or click and drag so that it loads it into my onto my mat. I don't change the size, and in fact you'll see you can't actually change the size on these, and this is because the holes are predefined to fit certain rhinestone sizes. I now also have a new tab at the top of the screen where I can either place single rhinestones, create my own design, or count how many rhinestones will be needed in particular sizes to finish the design. You transfer the design to your machine exactly the same way as you do cutting files. So if you download to PC, right click and save link as, or if you use the Wi-Fi transfer method, just click on that. To retrieve the design on my machine, I do that again in the same way that I would any other design I've transferred. And you can see there, that's now loaded it. Now I need to prepare my machine for creating the template. First, using the standard blade, I set that to a depth of 6. The pressure I will set later is 0. I now load the template sheet, which is the black furry sheet, still with its carrier on the back, onto the cutting mat. This then gets loaded into the scan and cut machine. I'm going to do a test cut before I proceed, and it's quite important to do this because we need to make sure that we cut only through the template sheet and not the carrier sheet on the back. When you actually perform a test cut, although the machine will tell you it will take 4 minutes, i.e. the amount of time it will take to cut the pattern, if you have a test cut design on your screen, it will only cut the test pattern. So we'll send that through the machine with the test cut. Then I'm going to double check that it's cut as I expected. I will just peel up the little circle that it cut just to make sure that it's only gone through the template sheet and not through the carrier sheet on the back. Definitely use an awl or a bradawl or a pick tool to get that off. And you can see there, it was a success. Next, I delete the test pattern so that I only keep my butterfly design, and then I will send that through to cut. Now it does take 4 minutes, as I mentioned, so I have sped this part of the video up just to save a little time overall. When the cutting has complete, unload the mat, and you'll then trim off the part that contains your pattern. You'll then peel up the corner of the template sheet and pull it back as quickly as possible. The goal is to keep all of the little dots that we've cut out on the backing sheet. Rubbing down sometimes helps to get more off. However, sometimes it may just be the case that you will need to dab the template sheet against the backing sheet to help remove some of those circles. And here it is once I've completed that. I'm now going to bring in this box that's part of the kit. You can see there I've got the crystals that are the right size. I've also cut myself a piece of transfer sheet to help me transfer the crystal design onto my chosen project. And I have that white piece of cardstock. Don't throw this away, it's actually part of the kit. It does tell you which side not to use, so you'll put it down so that it's just got the completely blank white side facing you. You'll then position your template onto that, making sure it's stuck all the way around. Then pour on your crystals and using your spreader tool, in a circular motion, spread that around the template. And what you'll find is a lot of those crystals will fall into place. You might not be able to get them all in on the first try, but a few more sweeps should give you as many as possible in that instance. Brother have included a pickup tool so that you can add a few extra if you need to. And also this is a great creative tool because you could also replace certain elements of a design with a different colour of crystal. Once you have all of the crystals in the template facing up, take your transfer sheet and peel it away from its backing. The transfer sheet is the clear part. Position that over your template and rub it down all over the crystals. You'll then lift that up and it should take all of the crystals with it. Make sure you have got them all and haven't got any extras, as I did there. And then Put this back on its backing sheet for the time being until you're ready to transfer the design to your project. You could even make a few for family and friends if you wanted to. The next stage is fixing it to your project. So here is a handbag I made a while ago, and I thought it would be great to pop the butterfly design on there. Now the instructions suggest that you put a piece of fabric inside your project. So if you're doing this on a t-shirt, it will be between the layers. And this is to protect the other side of the fabric. To position your design, you'll take it again away from the carrier sheet, place it where you want to be, and I'm just feeling the bag there because I've got a magnetic clasp, so I wanted to avoid putting it on top of that. The instructions also say then to put a scrap piece of fabric on top, and this is to prevent scorching or melting of the carrier sheet. You'll set your iron on number 2 or just above number 2, and then press it for about 45 to 60 seconds. This is to melt the glue on the crystals and to allow the glue to come into contact with the fabric. I'm just taking off the fabric top to allow the design to cool down for a few minutes. After the design has cooled down, you can peel away the carrier sheet and all of your crystals should be stuck. If not, simply replace the carrier sheet and repeat the heating process. But there's my design complete. And here are a few closer shots so you can see how that turned out. It's a great way to personalize fashion accessories, or even home decor. Hen parties would be a wow because you could personalize each t-shirt with a name or a phrase or a saying. Now, that was using one of the pre-designed patterns, but you can actually make your own from other patterns as well. To do this, we log into Canvas Workspace and start a new project as normal. We can load something from our pattern library or from our own designs that we've scanned in. On this instance, I will use a plain square. I will then go to the tab that says Premium and start the Rhinestone wizard. That's the center icon. There are 5 options available to us. There's a pattern along a line, there's a standard fill, a contour fill, a circular fill and a fit fill. For each of those there are options of stone sizes that you can use and also spacing between each of the rhinestones. So you'll make your choices based on what you want to achieve and then click OK and your pattern is created. That was just using the square itself. And of course we can use the stone counter to see how many of each size of stone that we would need. I'll try a different shape now, something a little bit more complicated. Let's try this heart with a scalloped edge. Again, up to Premium, open the Rhinestone wizard, select the next fill option, and you can see here there are more options available to us because of the type of pattern fill. We click OK and our rhinestone pattern is created. It's that quick and simple. I'll show you some of the other options as well, using different shapes. For this one I'm using the contour fill. This uses the outline of the shape to create the pattern. For this clamshell design, I'm using the circular fill option. And for the fifth design, I've chosen this sort of half donut, and I will be using the fit fill option. So you can see various different options for creating rhinestone patterns from even just your basic shapes. You can of course try this out with borders and logos. I think before I finish this video though, I'd like to see how it works with text. So I will choose one of my character sets from the text option, load it onto my screen, edit the text. I'll just say hello with this one. I'll run it through the Rhinestone wizard with just an outline. And there we go. Amazing, isn't it? Just a couple of hints and tips before I finish. Tip number 1. Use a sharp blade. Using a blunt blade just won't give you the results you need with the template. Tip 2. Perform a test cut. Make sure you're only cutting through the template and not its backing material. Don't resize if using with crystals. In fact, Canvas Workspace won't even let you. Use any SS-sized hotfix crystals that you can find. And finally, why not try drawing it with glitter or gel pens directly onto cardstock for a different look?